Hello everyone, welcome back to Debug Diaries. I am Manharshi Jadeja. Today we are going to deep dive into one question, and that will be what is Blazor and why should you learn it. For the better experience, you can move to 1.5x speed. So throughout the video, you can enjoy the learning. Yeah. So first question, what is Blazor? So might be you guys are aware about that Blazor is developed by Microsoft and it is an open source community. So if you want to work with the Blazor, you have to just download the SDK for the Blazor and you can go with it. If you have an interest to contribute to the community, there will be an open community, so you can go for that and contribute your ideas for Blazor as well. So the first why we use for the Blazor so we can say to build interactive UI using the C# Blazor instead of JavaScript. Why instead of JavaScript? Earlier, whenever we guys are able to or we want to develop the UI, at that time, if we talk about the backend, then we have to develop backend using some other technology. We can say Node.js or we can develop in .NET as well. But if we talk about the UI, then we have to develop UI in using the React or we can say using the Angular, and these both are the JavaScript framework. But if you are already .NET developer or you are working in the .NET ecosystem, then Blazor we can say will be the good fit for you. That without learning a JavaScript or without moving to this particular framework, Angular or React, you guys are able to develop the UI. So now, as a part of the ASP.NET ecosystem, Blazor is providing you the full functionality for the UI development. Now, share code across the front end and back end in C#, as it is a complete package we can say for the .NET ecosystem. So from back end to front end, you guys are you are able to develop the things in .NET. Now, Blazor in the web ecosystem. Traditionally, web developer use JS for the front end and C# and Java for the backend. As I have said, so mainly earlier what the things was going on, if developer want to develop in a backend, they are using the C#, Java or some Node.js, JavaScript functionalities over there. Or for the particular front end, mainly they are using the JS based frameworks, as I said, like React and Angular. But now Blazor allow you full stack development using the only C#. As you are a .NET developer, there is no need to move to React or the Angular. You have a ability to develop the full stack application using the C# only. So now the backend will be developed in the C# and front end you can develop in the Blazor. Now integrated well with the .NET API services and Azure. It is, as I have already said, it is connected to the .NET or I can say Microsoft .NET ecosystem. So it is already quite we can say more integrated to the API services and the Azure as well. So there is no need to depend on any other services out of the ecosystem we can say. Now Blazor hosting model. There are mainly two hosting models that is provided by the Blazor, and first one is a Blazor server and second one is a Blazor assembly. What will be in the Blazor server? That it is run on a server using the SignalR UI updates. Small load need constant server connection. So what is happening in the Blazor server? That Blazor server particularly run throughout a server, that it is a need a connection, we can say constant connection throughout the whole process. With the use of SignalR, it will update the UI. Earlier when we want to just for an example, if in a particular UI I have a one counter button in below side, whenever I am clicking that button and there will be above one text area over there, the amount of an counter is going to increase. So earlier if I want to implement this thing using a JavaScript, I have to write the lines of code. But with the use of I can say Blazor, and in particular Blazor server, I can do within a 1 or 2 lines. So this is the actual use of a Blazor server. Actual benefit for the C# developers, those are already aware about the C#. About the Blazor server, it initially as it working in the server, so comparatively to the local system it will work faster. So initially it will take a small load, but it's need a constant server connection. It means you need a throughout the whole process, you need a throughout the internet to complete that particular process. Second hosting model is in Blazor WebAssembly. So it is run in a browser with the WebAssembly, full client side app, work offline, bigger initial load. Now the thing is, if you have some static pages, those are not going to, we can say, change in a long term or in a frequently, we can say. So those are the pages you can develop in the Blazor WebAssembly. At that time, what the Blazor WebAssembly will do, that whenever the project will be initialized, here you can read that bigger initial load. So in the in the initial time, it will download the all dependencies in the browser itself. So due to this, bigger initial load will be there. Afterwards, you can use that all functionalities in the client side app, means using the browser. And if you in your particular application you want an offline functionality, then Blazor WebAssembly is a good fit for you, so you can go with that. So these are the two hosting models. Now Blazor server versus Blazor WebAssembly. So as I said, Blazor server, logic on server, all your logic will be communicated or will be deployed in the server only. So it will going to run throughout the server. It will be a quite fast process, as it is we can say uh, things are or the logics are running on the server. Thinner client, we can say. Now Blazor WebAssembly, logic will be on the client. As I've said, it will download the whole your logic in the 0.1 format in your particular browser, runs entirely in the browser. So if you have some static page, those are not going to change frequently, you can develop that using a WebAssembly, and that will be fine. That will be a more faster compared to the giving load to the Blazor server. Now where the Blazor shines. First, great for the internal dashboards, admin panel and the secure pages. BestWeb.NET is already in use. Now, as I have already said, that you guys are working with the C# or you are already in a .NET developer. If you want to develop in a front-end side, or if we talk about some monolithic architecture, and that is the MVC, what we are doing at that time, we are developing using the JavaScript, we can say. We are writing long lines of code or the big lines of code for the developing UIs. But if you are already in .NET developer and you want to be a full stack developer, or you want to develop the UI as well using the .NET, then yes, you have a chance, you have that ability using the .NET ecosystem that you can do, and that will be a Blazor. Your option will be Blazor. Ideal for sharing code between backend and the front end. Earlier, what thing is happening, if there is a one big application is coming, there will be a two separate team is going to run. One will be a backend, and most of the part in the most of the earlier application, backend part was generally going to develop in the .NET. But if you talk about the front end, client's choice will be the React or the Angular. But there at that time Blazor was not in the picture, but now Blazor is in picture. So the communication between the two teams will be little bit different. Communicating things, if you have to develop the APIs to communicate with the Blazor, for your backend .NET, and we can say some UI framework, React or Angular. So that will be a little bit difficult for us as well, or for the team as well. But if you are the only one responsible person, it will or he or she will able to develop the backend and front end both. Then yes, that will be a more easy. There will be a no dependency to the other team as well, we can say. Yeah. So used in the banking portals, e-commerce tools and the proposal system as well. As we guys already aware about that Microsoft's one main term, and that is the providing the security. So in the Blazor, it is providing the security as well as we can say it is making the system faster, processing faster. So it will be ideal choice for the .NET developer, or in the some clients those are want to develop these kind of portals as well. So now this was all about our Blazor introduction, we can say. Now what will be in our next video? In our next video we are going to build our first Blazor app. Along with, we will sync this Blazor app with the GitHub as well. So if you guys have no idea about how to sync the project in GitHub, don't worry, I will create one video on that, so you can learn about how to sync your code with the GitHub as well. So first, before we move to our build your first Blazor project, your task will be to go to the Blazor site and explore the project structure, and if you are able to run your first application, then do it by yourself. Rest, no worry, we will learn that in our next video. So this was all about today. Subscribe Debug Diaries and follow along. Yeah, thanks.